Hey social work students, I just want to take a moment and remind you about some of the guidelines for APA style for academic writing. There are 4 key components to writing a good paper in APA style. Number 1, don't put your title or any other information in the header. Just make sure that you put the page number, and it should be on the right side of the header. Number 2, your title page has to be on point. Use the APA standards to guide your title page. Your title page should be about centered in the page, but not quite centered. And it's going to start with a level 1 heading, which is going to be center aligned, bolded title. The first letter of every word is capitalized. This does not include for, to, and the, but every key word is capitalized in the title. After that, you're going to put the department that you're writing the paper for, as well as the university, separated by a comma. Underneath the title, 2 spaces down, is going to be your name. First name, middle initial, period, last name. I know it's uncomfortable. Not everyone's gonna wanna know your middle name. No one's gonna make fun of you, but you've gotta make sure you put your middle initial in there. The third thing to recognize on your title page is the department that you're actually doing the work for. So if it's a social work department, so Department of Social Work, comma, and then the university, and use the full name of the university. Don't use an acronym, don't use anything else, just the full name, East Central University, or whatever that looks like. Underneath that, you're gonna put the course section title and the numbers. So if it's, for us, it's social work, it might be all caps, SOWK 2083-03. That's gonna be the section number that identifies what specific course it's for. There's a colon after that, and then you follow it up with the actual title of the course. So if it's dimensions of human service or behavior in the environment, whatever, but put the full title of the course. Underneath that, you put the professor's name. You wanna make sure that you're providing the correct prefix. If your professor is not a doctor, make sure that you're identifying them according to the prefix that they determined is appropriate for your course. It's okay to go up and ask. I would rather someone asks me what my prefix is instead of assuming that it's my dude. It's not, it's doctor, but make sure that you're putting the appropriate prefix. And then you put prefix, first name, middle initial, period, last name. And that is how you cite the professor on your title page. The final thing you need to put on a student APA formatted title page is the date. Now don't shorten anything, okay? Make sure you're using the appropriate format. If today's date is August 28th, 2024, you're gonna write out August with a capital A, 28, comma, 2024. And that's going to be the appropriate date. This is the picture of an effective title page. Sorry, I had a costume change. Number 3, as you start to actually build out your paper and you start writing, you want to consider the body of the paper. Now, there are tons of different ways that you can approach this. However, I think the most effective way typically lands on having an introduction, body, and conclusion. Inside of those sections, you can have all kinds of variety of things, but you want to be very careful of your headings. Level 1 through level 4 headings have different typeface that are required. They also have different caps settings that are mandated for APA format. So just be aware of what the paper requires. The fourth thing that you want to remember is your references. The reference page starts on a separate page from the body of your paper. Remember that the term references is a level 1 heading, and it should be capitalized, bolded, and in the center of your paper. Now, as you start writing out the list, those are not bolded, those are not centered. Those actually have a hanging indent. That means you'll go to the paragraph settings and change it from left indented to hanging indent. You'll also be mindful to list all of your citations in alphabetical order. Now, if you have a citation on your paper in the reference list, it has to have a narrative or in-text parenthetical citation. That means that you have to have that reference in the paper. It has to be in both places. It is problematic if you only have it in one space. It means that you're misrepresenting work somewhere, somehow. The reader then has to find out where that is, which is a big issue and could be plagiarism. Writing academically is not difficult, but it is tedious. I understand there are so many complexities, and it's going to be easy to get caught up with all of the specificity of the writing, style, requirements, APA format, etc. Therefore, give yourself a break. Find someone that can review your APA format. Get very comfortable with the APA manual and don't get the abbreviated versions of it. Get comfortable with finding what chapter tells you how to do what things. I know there are 1,000 different ways to do this, but my suggestion, if you want to make it easy, is have a specific format already in line. So your title page is already set up. Your reference page is already set up. The body of your paper is already set up. Keep the same format. I use the same format for the body of my papers through undergraduate, graduate school, and doctoral school. It is the same general structure, though there are some elements that might be required that are specific to each course. But keep your same format, and then you can use that as a template later on. The other thing I would suggest is use books as infrequently as you can. You really want to make sure that you're using articles more than you're using books, especially textbooks. Books are outdated quickly. Articles are updated regularly. Get comfortable with EBSCOhost, Google Scholar, or any of the others. I would also encourage you to stick to peer-reviewed journals. They're typically going to have most of the information that you're going to want or need. And honestly, if you see that there's a gap in the research, then fill the gap. Find a way. Get connected with advisors, educators, professors, somebody that can help guide the process of doing the research to fill in those voids. If you can follow some of these tactics, your writing is going to be fantastic. Your professors are going to love you, and it's going to be much easier to put together your papers on the fly. Though I doubt any of you are doing that. It's just going to help. You're only as efficient as the systems that you put in place. That being said, don't be afraid to ask questions. Good luck, and you've got this.